Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Universe. I am Aaron St Denis. Follow me everywhere at FF Mad Scientist. I am joined today by that one. Okay, that one's Hollywood Jack at FF_Rebel. That one's Jesse Moeller at JMoeller05. I crossed my arms, still fucked it up. That's impressive. You can point in both directions and still be wrong. Awesome. All right, we are back at it here. We are all about to conclude our vacations. I guess we got to actually start preparing for week one here. So we wanted to do a little Sunday mock draft action here with college football going. You know, pretty much every draft you've got going will be done this weekend or next. So we wanted to do a mock draft, but we didn't want to do the same one over and over. Had a buddy at work who showed me screenshots of a rather interesting family league, I believe it is, he's doing. So we thought we'd try that. It's going to be 12 rounds, 10 teams, half PPR. Superflex is where it gets interesting. Like, I play in a number of family, work, home type leagues. Those are the only 10-team leagues I think I know. The analyst leagues are never 10 teams. So if you see 8 or 10 teams, just assume it's, a casual one. This one is. So Superflex, which is, like I said, what made it interesting, because all of my 10 teamers, they're all single QB, so it's a little easier. This one is 1 QB, 1 Superflex, 2 running back, 3 receiver, tight end, a kicker. I want to make sure I didn't screw that up. Do we have kickers? Yep, we have kickers on the board.
Yes,
all right.
We do have kickers.
And we included, I think we included 3 bench spots here. So we're going to go 12 rounds. I was going to cap it at 10, but it's only 10 teams. So I just want to double check this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Right. 9 starters, 3 bench. That's what it is. It will be 12 teams. I see someone type it in the chat here. Just see if they have an important question. Oh, it's you? All right.
No, I'm telling Ryan join the draft, not to snipe me.
Well, Jamie's offering to fill it. We need
throw it in the.
If you want to join.
One sec. Do I have the link? Can I post? I'm used to running the stream here. Let's put the comment there. Boom. There you go.
Nice.
I love it.
Copy that. Copy the link we just shared, Jamie, and then you can join.
Yeah, we'll get it.
There's no flexes in this league?
No, there's not. And that's what I found interesting. So it's quarterback, a super flex, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, tight end, kicker. And then I think it's like 6 or 8. I think he goes 16 rounds. So I think it's 6 or 7 bench spots, but no, there's no flex. Which is
Are there any weird scoring things to this league, or is it traditional?
Half PPR tight end premium.
Okay. How much is the tight end premium?
0.5. So standard, I guess. I think that was Jamie. Oh no, Dylan's
Duarte got it. Sorry, Jamie.
It's all right.
Well, it's okay.
One sec. I can remove someone here if you give me a sec.
That's the Greg's the Warrior Bowl guy, or Greg is the Reddit guy, I think, right?
No. Greg's a buddy from work, but I don't know if I don't even know if he's here. I haven't talked to him, so I want to see
if the number one. Well, what about the number 1?
The number 1. Okay, I don't know who that is. Okay, let me see. Give me 30 seconds here, guys. I don't know how to do it from desktop, so I'm gonna have to go in and manually remove.
You're fine.
Well, let's talk a little bit about it. Yeah, because we got a 10 teamer, and with a super flex starting 3 wide receivers. So, Jesse, what are you thinking in terms of an approach, like your ideal approach, depending on how the board falls? Are you looking for to fill those wide receiver slots? Are you trying to go QB early? Like, what's your ideal start here?
Yeah,
Jamie,
I want
Jamie, you can fill that now. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, when in these like redraft leagues, to answer your question, Ryan, yes, it's redraft. I'm much more interested in fading quarterback when it gets to a certain point. I don't need to force quarterback into my QB2 slot because a lot of those guys are going to need some production. So once those elite playmakers go off the board, like you'll see them go early, I'm going to more than likely fade quarterbacks because it's not dynasty, right? So it's 1 year, so you don't have that length window. So for me, yeah, I'm just going to take the best players available and go with that. Obviously, I'll push up one of the quarterbacks because I don't want to get stuck. But outside of that, I'm fine. And for starting 3 wide receivers, like I want to hammer wide receiver early because I don't want to miss out a wide receiver. It's real difficult. You miss out a wide receiver. You're starting like a Jermaine Burton as wide receiver 3. You're like, I am so screwed. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, what about you, Hollywood Jack? What's your strategy going in?
No, I totally agree with you. The one thing I'll add, though, is, you're going to see, I think you'll see a lot of people, especially this year, trying to replicate those zero RB builds of years past that were successful. You're going to see that running back value fall down the board. So that's something that I'm interested in, is seeing how far that value falls. And if I can throw RB, I'm going to grab one in the first 3 rounds for sure, most likely. And then maybe I'll grab my RB2 before round 5, 6, depending on how far that value falls. So it's really just playing the board and seeing where the value lies in those middle rounds.
For me, in these 8 and 10 teamers, it's literally just about creating an all-star team. I don't care about my depth at all. I just want to fill all my starting positions. I'll worry about depth later, and I'll just draft the undervalued Seattle Seahawks.
We're all going to have really good
100%.
teams,
Yes.
With these smaller leagues, everyone's going to.
All right, let's fire it up. I guess it's Jamie. This is Superflex. That's weird. I have it sorted by Superflex, but CMC's the 2. That's just, I don't normally see it
right, he is
sorted that way. Josh Allen is the first pick.
Shocking. I'm so shocked.
Yeah.
Do we have a 6-point passing or a 4-point passing touchdown? Because that
6
makes a little bit. Okay.
6.
Then my pick is easier. It's Patrick Mahomes.
He's
He's throwing 50 touchdown passes this year. Mark it down 5,000 yards at least, and I'll go at least 45 TD passes, but I think it's going to be 50.
I don't think I play in a single 4-point per passing touchdown. Do you guys?
I don't have a couple. I think
I don't have any out of 100 leagues. I have none.
I have a tweener one. Yep, no surprise. Hurts goes 3. Shocker. Yeah, we're chalking it up here, folks. We'll see what happens.
Well, as long as the Lions fan doesn't pick Goff, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think so.
I live in the Detroit area, so my home league's like that, where they overdraft all the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, man.
Interesting. Let's see.
I love those leagues, though. They're so much fun.
They are, especially because you try to wait on guys and they just get picked out from under you for no good reason a round or 2 early. So
Richardson is the 4th quarterback on the board. How are we feeling? Because that is spicy. I love Richardson, but man, that is a spicy pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, especially in 6-point, I would prefer a Stroud Burrow type of thing. I think Richardson is safe enough. He's going to have that floor. I'm just worried that his ceiling, as like you mentioned, as the QB4 is a little too much. Give me QB 6, 7, the value he was going a bit earlier this offseason. That's where I like him.
I like it because it let Lamar Jackson fall to me. I'm down with that.
Yeah, it's not bad either. The floor with Lamar is just so high. He might not have the super high ceiling that he previously had, but what you're getting. Last year was 21 points per game. That feels about 4.
Goddamn, SC, you're killing us here, man. I mean, we did start 2 hours earlier.
I can't believe
CeeDee Lamb. Oh no.
Yeah, I can't believe CD's on the board still. I mean, I think you want to get a quarterback early, but 6 quarterbacks in the first 8 picks, I think, seems a little off-brand for the offseason. People have been fading the QBs a little bit.
If SC does not take CeeDee Lamb here, I'm going to take him, and then I'm going to take the Bijan Robinson or Breece Hall. We'll see, but it's going to be interesting. I just think there's a lot of good players in this board, right? And the quarterbacks at this point are really, really good. You have Dak, you have Burrow, you have Kyler, but it's kind of the guys that are the next tier down. So that makes it interesting. Yep, there goes
CD.
Go double RB, baby.
Yeah. I might have to here. I mean, this is just gonna be fun. Let's just do it and see how this works out. Because
how do you pass up? How do you pass on the appeal of a Jefferson Chase stack there on the turn? Oh,
I thought about it. I was gonna do that, but I wanted to go with the double RB, just bully, just because why the heck not, and see how it works out. Because it's a mock. If this was a real draft, I would take a wide receiver there, but I want to play this running back double bully and just see how it goes.
I couldn't have passed that stack.
I mean, yeah, and then not bad getting AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb as your first 2 wide receivers for SC.
Auto pick.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. That's the thing, the wide receiver value. The fact you can still get Justin Jefferson here, I don't understand why we're still picking Justin Jefferson. This is the thing that doesn't make sense to me. So whoever gets
Justin Jefferson Brown higher for me. That's why I took it. But
yeah, no, I know. It's just so interesting how we're people. I saw a tweet where someone was saying they'll take Garrett Wilson over him, and I was okay, we need to pump the brakes on this.
Yeah, okay.
I love Garrett Wilson.
St. Brown's one thing. Garrett Wilson's a bit much. So.
Yeah, because there's a lot of projection built into that, right? Like he's awesome. I get it. It's just we're counting on a guy coming off an Achilles, and this is also kind of the one chink in Drake London's armor too, is the whole Kirk Cousins things if he's not healthy. So I think that's part of that. Then there's Gibbs.
Just got sniped with Gibbs.
Let's see if we have anybody going double QB to start here. I assume not, but
if I was at the turn, I actually probably would because of the players available here. Like I would give that hammer quarterback.
I think, but still like there's still 3 players I like on the board better than any quarterback. I like Puka, Wilson, and JT. Oh, and so what did we say we were going to do? We said we were going to be better at announcing our picks here, and then we completely ignored 2 rounds. So let me recap here. We started 10 rounds. We started first round was Josh Allen. Jeremy took Patrick Mahomes. Ryan took Jalen Hurts. Then we have Christian McCaffrey, Anthony Richardson. Me at 106, I take Lamar. Duarte takes CJ Stroud. Then we have Tyreek Hill. SC isn't here, so he got auto-picked at the 109. CD Lamb. Jesse got the turn at the 110, 201. He got Brees and Bijan. SC gets auto-picked again at 202 for A.J. Brown. Then we have the 108 adding Joe Burrow to Tyreek Hill. Jamar Chase is added to Duarte's team with Stroud. I added St. Brown to Lamar Jackson. Richardson and Justin Jefferson were paired up here. One of the other teams without a quarterback took Kyler at the 207 to pair with McCaffrey. Ryan added Gibbs to go with Hurts at the 103. Jeremy, who was the 102, took Garrett Wilson at the 209. And we have Jamie being our first stack here at quarterback. He had Josh Allen at the 101 and Dak Prescott at 210. He then goes Puka at 301 with Jeremy on the clock at 302.
This is really tough. Ryan, of course, gave me the wink emoji because I told him not to snipe me. And what does he do in the second round? Snipes me immediately. So I had to settle for Garrett Wilson. I really wanted Gibbs. I don't know if I can pull the trigger here on Barkley or Taylor. I love them, and I did say I wanted to get a running back in the first 3 rounds. But I'm also staring at Sam Laporta, every tight end available, and of course the guy that I love, who I'm going to take here, Jordan Love. I think it drops off pretty significantly after those guys end in a 6-point per passing touchdown. That's who I'm going to go with. Unfortunately, not getting an RB.
I know who I absolutely want here, so I'm hoping he gets back to me. I'm thinking about it now, and because I don't play in any 10-teamers, so this never dawned on me that we only really need 20 quarterbacks. So had I thought that through fully, I don't know if I would have started quarterback in the first round here. I might have stacked like Jesse did, or even like SC accidentally did. Just the more I think about it, I'm like, even if I get QB 19 and 20, they're still not terrible. Like you're going to get a Baker or someone in that range. So I think I'm going to push QB a little bit here. We had actually, let's just wait and see if we got one more pick here. But so Jeremy took Jordan Love. Then we had Ryan take Caleb Williams to go with Jalen Hurts. The 304 was Marvin Harrison Jr., so that team has a bit of a rainbow going. 305 added Sam Laporta for the first tight end off the board. I am up here at the 306. I have Lamar and St. Brown, and the guy I really wanted fell to me. I am taking Jonathan Taylor at the 306. He is the last of the elite tier of running backs for me.
I like it.
Then there's kind of the bridge of Saquon and Kyron. I wasn't going to go quarterback there. If someone had taken JT, I think I was going to take the first tight end off the board. This is where it's interesting for me. My dynasty brain meeting my redraft brain. I still think I want Travis Kelce as the first tight end off the board. Where are you guys in that Kelce versus Laporta range or debate?
Well, especially if like Jeremy has Mahomes, I would take Kelce. Like if you're going for the stack, like you might as well chase it. But yeah, I don't have a difference. So it's just what you prefer. Like if you want the sure thing, you take Kelce. If you want the upside shot of McBride or Laporta or any one of those guys, take those guys.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's also
I agree with the stack idea. I just think that there's 6. We've talked about this before. There's 6 tight ends that I want, and I'll take the 6th off the board of those guys. It's going to be Kyle Pitts or Mark Andrews, most likely, maybe Kincaid. It's going to be one of those three guys who last the 6th, and in Superflex, they're going to go at the end of the 6th round, probably. So I'm happy to collect that value and pass on the stack with Mahomes. But Kelsey could fall.
See, for me, where I said, I don't play 10 teamers, so I kind of have to adjust because for me, I think I have 9 or 10. It might be 9 tight ends I'm willing to take. So as long as I don't get the last guy, I think I'm fine pushing tight end. But so at 307, we had Duarte, add Nico Collins to Chase and CJ. 308, we have Barkley to go with Burrow and Tyreek. SC at the 309 gets auto-picked his 3rd straight receiver. CD, AJ Brown, and Chris Olave. And Jesse finishes out round 3 here, takes Waddle to go with Bijan and Brees, and he is up at 401. It's interesting because you're at the point where you can almost afford to just keep punting quarterback and stockpile the other positions.
Yeah, the whole issue of me going double running back is I was hoping some of those wide receivers that went in round 2, one of them was going to fall to me. And then Nico went in like round 3, and I go, oh, that's the guy I was looking for. So I don't mind going wide receiver here, but it feels very much because I took running back, I kind of like hurt myself away without taking the wide receiver early because the running back values are still insane right here because we're looking at Kyron Williams, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Devon Achane, who I really want to take Achane, but I can't take him because I can't flex him. So it's like I have to get to another position. So I'm just going to take Devontae Adams and live with it and just go with that as my wide receiver team.
That's the other thing to factor in of why you could afford to wait on tight end here because you can't flex the second tight end. So there's no point in using high capital, to go with the bully tight end here for the 305. There's no point if Kelsey gets to you. He's of no use to you. He's going to sit on your bench or you're going to trade him. I don't know if this league is heavy into trading or not, but
yeah, I wish. I
and then he goes up. Kelsey goes up the board there at 403 to complete the first, I think, rainbow we have. Tyreek, Burrow, Barkley, Kelsey. So 4 rounds for Greg. He has one of each. Ayuk goes 404. That is 3 receivers and a quarterback for Duarte, who, what is it? I said start 3 wide receivers. So that's probably a solid strategy.
Very nice.
I don't know what I want here because I like the running backs in this range more than I like the receivers, I think. Having said that, I scrolled down far enough, and I'm just going to – I think it's a bit of a reach, but I'm going to go Pittman. I really like Pittman, and I don't want to be short on these receivers with 3 of them starting the way they're going off the board. So call it a reach or not, I'm going Pittman. I'm not a London guy. I'm sure Jeremy's going to take London, so he won't get back to me. But
yeah, you don't want to miss out on the wide receiver because they're starting 3. That's the key. And you'll see this, and the wide receiver depth is there, but it falls off a cliff at a certain point. So I agree. Like you want to get those wide receivers early because the running back depth is really, really good.
Yep.
Or totally perceived running back depth, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. And Drake London just went off the board, so there's 2 more guys here I'm interested in at the wide receiver position, right in this range. They are both available to me, so I'm going to try and push it. And we're going to get Derrick Henry and lock in my RB1. Hopefully he's healthy. If he's healthy, he's going to be a monster. 20 touchdowns. Why not? Let's see what happens. But let's see if one of my 2 wide receivers gets back to me here. He should.
Yeah, we had London at 406 paired with Jefferson. Then the interesting one here at 407, they had Purdy. I can only assume he drafted a second quarterback there because he wanted to stack the Niners. I don't know. I think that's a bit of a reach. Ryan takes his wide receiver 1 is Debo. That is kind of scary in a 3 receiver. I like Debo, but I think he probably was thinking there would be more options available to him when it got back to him. Jeremy took his RB1, Derrick Henry. Jamie ended it here with Mike Evans to pair with Puka, took his RB1 at 501. He drafted Isaiah Pacheco, and it's back to Jeremy, who I assume is taking his other wide receiver, who is named Devontae Adams.
I don't think I'm going to do it, actually. It's his name is Cooper Kupp. I just think the value is super interesting right there.
Never heard of him.
You also got DK Metcalf, and I love both of those guys. If I miss out on either one, I'm not super disappointed, though. I'd probably end up taking Kupp here in a real draft, but because it's a mock, I'm going to go ahead and lock in my tight end here. do a little bit of a reach because there's still a bunch on the board, but I want to see what it feels like making up for that. So I'm going to go ahead and snipe Jesse a couple picks before Trey McBride gets back to him, and just make sure I lock in a top end tight end.
I'm not going to lie, though. This 10-teamer has never made me feel more patient and relaxed with tight ends. Because like I said, I think there's 9, maybe 10 I'm willing to draft, excluding Brock Bowers. So I'm in no rush.
He got H at the end of the 5th. That's absurd. So I was like, I regret taking those running backs because I got them so much later. It's like, that was where I played the game wrong.
You got some excellent running backs. I mean, you don't have to take a running back until like the 9th round now. Just
for sure, because like you don't have to. That's the thing. So you can just punt it, and they're still really good running backs.
And is that today on the clock now?
Cup and DK gone.
I want to. Oh, Kyron is still on the board. I thought you guys said Kyron was gone, so I would have liked to have added one more wide receiver. Oh, 2 of the running backs I really like are still on the board, but I wasn't anticipating Kyron being here, so I'm going to take Kyron.
Crazy.
So Jeremy added Trey McBride at the 502. The 503 was Devon Achane to Ryan to pair with Gibbs. 504 added Cooper Kupp to go with Marvin Harrison. 505 now has 3 receivers, no running backs. He took DK. I took Kyron at the 506 because the value fell. I wasn't expecting it. Like I said, I'm not necessarily a believer in him because I hate the draft capital. I hate how high he's going, but in the 5th round at about 50th or so overall, I just kind of had to. Then the running back that I wanted Rachaad White or not Josh Jacobs, James Cook to get back to me. They're normally the guys I take around this range, but like I said, I couldn't pass on Kyron. So Rachaad White goes to Duarte at 507. That's his first running back, and we are on the clock with Greg. What are you guys thinking?
James said he skipped Kyron because he has him lower, so it sounds like he's pretty low on Kyron, but I think that's a fine spot to take him, honestly.
I think the talent's good. It's just the situation scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, but even if he drops off 15%, he's still going to be one of the best. There's so much you can lose, and he still have him be a good running back. Unlike I think White worries me significantly more.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Greg at the 508 takes Josh Jacobs to pair with Barkley. That's his RB2. SC gets auto-picked Justin Herbert at the 509. I don't hate the value. I think in real life, if SC wasn't there, knowing Jesse's probably not in any rush to be the only, to get a quarterback, I think they probably both would have just continued to punt. But he got auto-picked, so Jesse is up here to close it out at 5'10", in need of a tight end or a quarterback, but will he be patient enough to keep kicking it down the line? I suspect he will.
I'm going to, because there's a lot of good wide receivers, and if I punt wide receiver here, I feel like I'm going to miss on these guys. So I'm going to take a guy and just swing big on Malik Neighbors here at the end of the 5th and grab him, and then I'm going to grab the tight end because as good as tight end is, it's the same situation. I want one of the elite tight ends. So I'm much more confident in Kincaid and Andrews than I am with Pitts and those guys. So I'm going to take Kincaid here, a guy who I think really has minimal target competition, and just lock in the difference maker at the position. So I'm going to go that, and then I'll see what falls to me at quarterback, but I can live with it.
So he ends it with Neighbors here at 5'10", his third wide receiver. He takes his tight end 1 at 601 in Dalton Kincaid. And now I'm a little more scared at tight end because SC auto picks Mark Andrews at the 602. So let the tight end run commence.
For real. They're up there in ADP. I think you're going to be okay because based on ADP, Pitts is down a ways and he's the next tight end up, but it's going to come soon. We'll say that.
Yeah. But that Andrews Lamar stack would have been really sweet there, especially with that value. So if he ended up taking a Pitts, which absolutely could happen, Andrews in the middle of the 6th and a 10-teamer, I mean, that would have been sweet.
Okay. Yeah, sign me up.
See, I don't know where I want to go here because I don't love the wide receivers in this range. I might just secure a tight end here and take myself some Evan Engram, and that's what I'm going to do. But so we had the 603 sees Tua go to pair with Tyreek Hill by Greg. 604 got both the running backs I wanted. He took Rachaad White, then James Cook. I decided to go tight end here. I took Engram. I had a fair bit of Kittle, but I also like Engram a lot in this range. I feel both of them are a bit safer than Pitts and whoever else. So that's where I went. Wasn't really in love with the wide receivers in that range. That's why I passed.
Which is fine. I just worry, like, once you get past where it's kind of like Tank Dell, it really starts falling off until you get later in the drafts, like with those rookie wide receivers. Like, I feel like there's a kind of about an 8 wide receiver guys I'm really good with here. And then after, like, Tank Dell, I'm like, no, I don't want to draft Keenan Allen. I don't want Terry McLaurin. I don't really want Jaden Reed, like, until we get to the Odunzes, the Godwins, and those guys. So that's what kind of worries me.
Yeah.
All right. So 606 takes Kenneth Walker as his RB1. That's a bit scary. 607 adds DJ Moore as the wide receiver 3 with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Cooper Kupp. And Ryan is up here. See if he'll take his first tight end. He has 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, and a receiver. Probably needs the receiver a little bit more than he needs the tight end. And he took Devonta Smith at the 608, bringing Jeremy up at the 609 in need of a receiver or a running back. I would say probably a receiver, but
yeah, definitely handcuffed here. It is not fun. So a little bit regretting the 2 quarterbacks and tight end early. I think you want to just be careful of doing that, generally speaking. And I am living proof of that. So yeah, don't do what I do, kids. So let's see. I do not like the wide receivers here, but there are a couple of running backs that I like that I might. I'm gonna need to get one. This one's tricky. So I'm looking at Kamara in a PPR. But obviously you have Joe Mixon, who's in a much better. Oh, we're half. All right. Well, then forget it. So we got either Joe Mixon or James Conner. That's a real tricky one, but I'm going to go ahead and shoot the moon with Mixon. Let's assume he stays healthy and just absolutely crushes from a touchdown perspective. He's at least David Montgomery, and he could be from last year, and he could be Joe Mixon from last year. So,
I know people are hyped about Cam Akers, but let's be real. There's no competition for Joe Mixon for touches. Like, it's not going to happen. So yeah, he's going to get upwards of 300.
Jeremy opting to go at 609 with Joe Mixon, creating a running back room with combined years of 75 years old.
Aaron Jones terrifies the crap out of me this year. Like, compared to Mixon, like that. Yeah. I don't want anything to do with Aaron Jones. I'm such a hard favorite.
That's Jamie takes Aaron Jones at 610 to go with Pacheco. Kyle Pitts goes at the 701 as Jamie's tight end 1, and we're back to Jeremy, who probably still needs a receiver.
Yeah, it's going to be a receiver here. I mean, the only other thing is I could take James Conner, and that would set me up, and I would not touch running back again. But then, of course, I'm playing with fire at wide receiver. Mm-hmm. I don't mind it, but I am going to go ahead and take a wide receiver. And really the only guy I want on the board here at cost is Amari Cooper. We've seen him do it time and time again. And if it is indeed half PPR, we have the touchdown upside. I'll take him over Diggs. I just think it's too crowded there in Houston, and Amari is still alone.
Are you worried about the holdout with Amari? Because that's the one thing that worries me.
As much as I am with Jamar Chase, but we're still taking him where he is. I mean, CD is back, right? But and there's talks about a deal, but all of these guys are, they have to pay these guys eventually. And we know that these players can't hold out, right? Because it's what, 40K per day. So, they just can't hold out for too long. So no, I'm not too worried about it. It's not ideal, but no.
So can we put that comment up from Jamie? Because I wholeheartedly disagree with 18 touches a game. He hasn't seen that in 3 years. He's been at 15 touches a game.
He hasn't been healthy.
And they've already come out in Minnesota. The offense is worse because of Sam Darnold run. Like, they're going to be, it's a timeshare. So, like, this is what worries me. Like, Aaron Jones just feels like fire. Like, you're playing with fire. Because the floor feels lower and the upside feels lower. So, like, I get it. He was really good in the playoffs, but the injuries are just going to be there too on top of it. So I'm just terrified of Aaron Jones this year. Like, I'm not drafting him.
Yeah. And to add on to that, the team loves Ty Chandler. They've been talking him up. I think he's going to get worked in a lot more than people think. I have a ton of Ty Chandler as a result because he's basically free in like the double-digit rounds. And then, of course, you have Sam Darnold, who you hope is going to be checking down, but he's not Kirk Cousins, right? So I don't know that we can rely on the amount of running back targets that we see in the past in Minnesota.
100%.
So we have a tight end run here, including an interesting one. The 703 takes his tight end 1, Kittle. 704, Brock Bowers. 705 takes a second tight end in David Njoku. I don't know what the hell. I took at 706. I take T. Higgins as my wide receiver 3. Duarte takes Ferguson at 707 as his tight end 1. Then we have Tank Delgo at 708 as Greg's wide receiver 2. SC auto picks his second quarterback in Trevor Lawrence at 709. And Jesse's up here at 710.
I mean, if you're going to leave me Jaden Daniels in the end of the 7th round and I don't have a quarterback, I got to take that pick. I'm going to do that.
Yep.
The interesting thing here is there's a lot of quarterbacks available. So, like, I would rather get, like, a bench flex guy and then come back with the quarterbacks. Because, like, I like Goff, but I like Stafford. I like all these guys are very similar. So, I'm just going to take a high upside wide receiver and go do that. I'm actually going to reach, and I'm going to take the Chiefs guys because I don't expect them to come back. So, I am going to grab Rashee Rice in the early of the 8th and lock him in on my bench. Because I don't think he's falling back to the 9th and 10th. So, I figured, you know what? Go grab him now.
Yeah, and the more and more we get closer to the season, the less and less it seems like Rice is going to be suspended significantly, if at all, this season. So I love that pick. I just want to quickly talk about tight ends here. As Aaron was saying, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tight ends taken in the 7th round. And Ryan says he was excited that he got in and almost pretty much started the run there of 4 tight ends and 5 picks. We had a couple picks before him. But yeah, in the 7th round, that's great value. If I'm looking at my team and looking at it in hindsight, I would have much prefer an Achane Pitts play to a McBride mix and play, just because, again, I don't think there's too much of a difference between those 2 tight ends. I'd prefer McBride, but I don't think there's too much of a difference. There is a big difference for me between Achane and Mixon. Achane's going to win you weeks. Mixon is just going to kind of be a steady Eddie back end RB1, I think, most of the time.
Yeah, Achane sex. Mixon is just the opposite of that. It's like that's what it is.
Celibacy.
I have a guy in my home league draft my work league draft that's going right now, who is about to be auto-picked on the turn here for 2 in a row, adding his 4th quarterback, which is awesome in a single QB league.
Yikes.
It's rough.
So let's recap a bit here.
Rough.
Jesse started off the 8th with Rashee Rice as his wide receiver 4. Then SC got auto-picked at the 802. I see him chat in our group chat. Someone might want to tell him he's drafted. Oh, maybe he did make the pick. He's online now.
Yeah,
anyways, he's got Najee as his RB2. I'm sure he loves that. He's a Najee guy.
He does.
Greg takes Zay Flowers as his wide receiver 3. Then we have Duarte gets Goff as his QB2. I took Kamara at the 805 as my running back 3. I don't love what's on the board. That's why I took Kamara there. Thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah, Kamara is a really good pick there. I wanted to take him probably a round or 2 earlier. In half PPR, not as sexy, but you got JT, you got Kyron, and you got Alvin, the AK there. So there's no issue for me there. He's a great pick. There's still a guy that, he just went off the board. James Conner, I would take over him in the half PPR, but I really don't. You're splitting hairs there. I mean, that team should be better, but you just don't totally know how it's going to shake out. It could just be you could get the same old James Conner, which is good. But, Alvin Kamara could bounce back, if Clint Kubiak can figure out that offense over there in New Orleans, which doesn't seem likely. But Alvin Kamara should have one more good season in him, and he's going to soak up a ton of targets.
Mini running back run here. We had 2 teams take their RB2 in James Conner and David Montgomery. Go ahead, Jesse. Sorry.
I was going to say the difference between 2 of them is Connor was efficient, one of the better backs in the NFL last year, and he's in a good offense with the Cardinals. Kamara was super inefficient. His stats tailed off. Like, he was getting volume, but that's it. And that offense just is not going to be good. So if I'm splitting the difference between 2 of them, I'll take a guy who's going to be efficient and get volume, as opposed to a guy who's going to be inefficient. If he loses that volume, that's how he craters. And this is the Austin Eckler thing we saw last year. If it falls off that volume, that's what worries me with Kamara. I don't expect it to happen, but I think there's potential.
Yeah. I'm just pissed because I got sniped by Ryan again. That's twice. That's twice already this draft. The Stephon Diggs value there at 808 is insane. I was absolutely going to take him there. Instead, I need an upside shot. No, I'm going to wait on that. We'll see what it looks like. I'm going to go safe for my wide receiver 3, and we'll take Chris Godwin. Godwin, we've been talking up all offseason and went back into the slot. He's going to see a ton of volume in half PPR. We also know that he's very functional around the red zone. It's really just him and Evans in the passing game in the red zone. So that's fine. And then my wide receiver didn't get picked. I'm between two guys here. It's not George Pickens and it's not Keenan Allen. It's either Jaden Reed or Rome Odunze. I think the upside of Odunze here at the 902 is insane, but I'm not going to snipe Jesse twice here in this draft. So I'm going to go ahead and stack, and I'll take Jaden Reed. Two safer picks. But Reed has the opportunity here to be a weekly just plug in good matchups. So
Ryan, dick. Just the Ryan's a dick. That's what it is.
I really wanted to take Rome, but I couldn't do it.
I know. I had a feeling he was going to come back to me, and like with the way my roster's built right now, like I can't really take him. Like it doesn't make sense to take him, unfortunately. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like this is what I mean with the wide receiver values. Like we're in the 9th round, and like we're getting Jaden Reed, Rome Odunze. We're getting these really really good fun upside wide receivers. So like this is the whole thing with it, where you can punt it and do it right. It's just risky if you wait too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have a lot of wide receivers going off the board. I guess you guys keep talking. I guess I'll just make my pick. I didn't realize I was
take your guy. Take your guy.
I just want to say I'm really jealous that I didn't take Rome Odunze and Ryan took him instead. So Ryan continues to be a dick this draft. Well done, Ryan.
we get a ton of receivers. So at the end of the 8th and the start of the 9th, we had Ryan double down here and go Diggs and Odunze. Jeremy took Godwin and Reed, and on the turn, Jamie took Christian Kirk and Terry McLaurin. We had the 904 take Zamir White. That's pretty solid value. Then we have 3 more receivers. We have Keenan Allen going as wide receiver 4, Pickens as my wide receiver 4, which I think is great value, and Duarte takes Xavier Worthy as his wide receiver 4. So looks like we are on a parade of wide receiver 4s here. Don't mind saying I like. I'm not a Pickens guy. I like having Pickens as my wide receiver 4, though. That ain't half bad.
That's not bad at all. The upside shot of that is fun. Ooh, BCJ.
Then we see DeAndre Swift go at 908 as the running back 3 with Jacobs and Barkley. Brian Thomas Jr. goes to SC at 909 as his wide receiver 4 after he started off with 3. And really Jesse is here at the 9-10 turn in need of, running back or quarterback.
I need a QB too. So the running backs, there's a lot of depth to running back. So I'm going to wait. I'm actually going to take another wide receiver and lock up my wide receiver room. I'm going to take Deontay to keep him away from everyone else because I don't want to play this game. No. So I'm just going to take Deontay. He'll be chilling on my bench. He can live there.
Smart.
And then I'm going to take Matthew Stafford because he feels the safest to me of all of these quarterbacks with like a high ceiling floor. And I love the Rams offense. So if I can get Stafford as my QB2, I'll lock that up and then we'll go there.
Then SC grabs his wide receiver 5 in Calvin Ridley. Should be ashamed of yourself.
Calvin Ridley 2024 exclamation point.
He has. Oh yeah, I was still thinking he's a Jacksonville for a second. I was like, wait, doesn't he?
No, we don't need to say what that is on air. Just let it go. Let it go. I got the joke. We don't need to.
Good stuff. But yeah. Hollywood Brown, I was really considering there. I'm just really concerned with the injury. I don't know what's going to happen and when he's going to be full strength. And I'm a big Xavier Worthy stan, so I think he's going to look really good early if he can put it all together. I think Rice is going where he should go. Hollywood's gone where he should go. I mean, but these values are pretty nice for KC wide receivers.
I do like Hollywood. I think there's like, the way he's being drafted, you'd think he was going to miss the whole season. So I don't mind him at 10:03. 10:4 is Stevenson, who has the RB3 now for Duarte. I don't mind getting Raheem Mostert as my RB4. I kind of love that. It's not a bad way to go. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. No, but like you took my guy. Yeah. You took my Raheem Mostert. In the 10th round, Raheem Mostert. That's so stupid. He was the RB2. He was the RB2 last season. He's going in the 10th round. We're just assuming this guy's going to get hurt, right? Or we're just assuming that Achane is going to take significant workload. Look, he's going to regress. He's not going to finish as the RB2 most likely. He can still be an RB1. You're getting him in the 10th round? Stupid.
Yep. It's it gets to the point where you're like, all right, the discount's already built into his cost, so it's like, just why not? Yeah. And this is the Dolphins' offense. Like, the one thing I do worry about is the offensive line. Like, they lost their center, who's the Seahawks center now, which should help the Seahawks out a lot. So they've had some changes in the offensive line. That's the one thing that does worry about the Dolphins. It doesn't seem like we're talking about their offensive line that much with all the changes they had. So I think their offense can regress, but still, like, if say he RB like 20, like, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to kill you. So yeah, 100%. Now, are you going to take your favorite Seahawks wide receiver here? Or are you going to
yes, I am. Yeah. Yep. He's already queued up. He's ready to go. Looked great yesterday. We got to take Jackson Smith and Jigba at the end of the 10th round. I know it's 10 team only. I know we're super flex, but that value is still great. I think, what is it? 5 rounds between him and DK, the value right here. I don't think it should be that far off. JSN is going to have a really good season.
You know what's funny? It's funny that you say you're super flex, because I just realized I forgot we were super flex. And I drafted one quarterback and that's it. But I only noticed because FF Hitman just grabbed his his QB2 with Rodgers. Then at 10:07, we have Jordan Addison as the wide receiver 4. Ryan takes Tony Pollard as the RB3 at 10:08. Jeremy grabs his wide receiver 5, JSN. Jamie goes Ladd McConkey, Jonathan Brooks to go 10-11 turn here. Jalen Warren as the RB3 for Jeremy at 11:02, and we're back to Ryan at 11:03. And we still
Jesse, I forgot about Jonathan Brooks.
Like, I was taking Brooks there. I was taking him there.
When he went off the board, I go, oh my god, because I have the 2 elite running backs. So he's the perfect back to like put on my bench and just chill. Because that was where I screwed up. Instead of taking the wide receiver, as much as I like Deontay, I should have taken Jonathan Brooks. It just makes more sense for my team. But I just saw the running backs and I was like, I'll wait for like Spears in the 11th or whatever. I did not even see Brooks. Oh, that one hurts.
That's such a good pick. Yeah, he's got Pacheco, Jones, who we were crapping on, but it doesn't matter because he came back around with Jonathan Brooks. By the time Jones is out and injured or slowing down, Jonathan Brooks is gearing up and he's taking you to a title.
100%.
Yeah, this Jalen Warren value I think is really ridiculous at this point. Najee went at the 8:02, Warren goes at the 11:02, so 3 rounds of value later. I know he's injured. I know we don't like it for running backs when you have those lower body and the soft tissue stuff, but who cares? Jalen Warren, if he can get healthy, he's going to look like Cordero Patterson looked on that run a whole hell of a lot this season, and I got him in the 11th round. So
you just have to be patient with him. Just be patient because he might miss a couple of weeks early in the season. So as long as you're patient with him, you'll be fine.
Love the Zach Moss as well, but we still haven't seen Chase Brown go off the board. I don't think there's really a lot of good running back value. I love the running backs late between Brian Robinson, who just went, awesome value. Like you mentioned, Spears, even someone, if you're high on Gus Edwards, I don't love him, but the value is there. It's the 12th round here. So taking Gus in the 12th, I don't really hate that upside shot. Maybe he gets 13 touchdowns again and is the running back 22. And so 100%. I think that's fine. That's fine. We're not flexing people, but if he can fill in for a few weeks, why not?
Yep. Jesse apparently is not going to draft a kicker, but so we had the 11:03. We had Christian Watson go as Ryan's wide receiver 5. Then 11:04 was Keon Coleman. Zach Moss went as the RB3 on that roster. That's a little scary. I took the first kicker off the board, Brandon Aubrey at 11:06. We had Devin Singletary, Brian Robinson. SC took AD Mitchell as his wide receiver 6. Jesse closed out the 11th round with another QB in Geno, paired that with Tyjae Spears. Then we have kicker in Moody Tucker Fairbairn at the 12-2, 3-4, which leaves me with needing a QB2. I am going to Cousins, Mayfield. I am going to take the risky play here. If this was in a league where we actually played it out, I would double down and take a quarterback in the next round. But I think the highest upside of the ones left on the board is the scariest. I'm going to take Deshaun Watson here. I would pair him with somebody else in the next round because it's also the most risky. But I don't think Cousins personally or Mayfield has top 5 upside. So that's just me.
Yeah, no, like Cousins is always that back end QB1. You know what you're getting as long as he's healthy. But the true upside, yeah, I think Watson could be QB28. He could be QB3. Like that's his range of outcomes of how it goes for him. And it's gonna be a roller coaster. And I don't mind taking the upside shot as your QB2. Like it makes a lot of sense because you want to win the league, right? We don't want to come in third or fourth place. So shoot the shot.
Then we have another kicker run. So everyone's going to have a kicker except for Jesse and Jeremy because they don't follow rules. So we have Butker, McPherson, and Jake Elliott as the next three kickers. Then it ends out here with Chase Brown to Jeremy, who doesn't follow rules, and Blake Corum to Jamie, who also doesn't follow rules. So the three guys who are actually actively involved with this draft and in the comments or on the show don't follow the fucking rules, and they drafted illegal lineups. Good job, boys.
Work, Jamie.
Way to follow the guidelines.
Good work, Jamie.
Bravo. Well done. That's teamwork right there.
So what did we notice here? Like I said, the first thing I noticed is in a 10-teamer, even in Superflex, I thought, got to make sure I get my quarterback. I really wish I had just waited till at least I would have been cool with around 3, 4, something like that. After taking Richardson at 105, I quickly was like, maybe I'd like to have that back. 10-teamer, even in Superflex, you can kind of afford to punt QB1 a couple of rounds here. What did you guys notice?
I actually like your Lamar pick because it gives you an edge over everyone else. The one thing I will notice is where Ryan took Caleb and where I took Jaden Daniels is a freaking chasm and makes zero sense.
Yeah.
It's just everyone kind of once Caleb went and then Purdy, people were just done taking quarterbacks for rounds, which is very interesting. But like you see that kind of that high end guys, they fall off. Once we get past that point, people are like, I don't want the quarterbacks. Gets this redraft, right? So like you kind of have to know that going in. That one stands out to me. And
Herbert was an auto pick too. So the next quarterback.
I was going to take Herbert, and then I was going to take Lawrence, but SC took both of those guys. Like, all right, well, I'll take Jaden Daniels. I wanted to do T-Law and Daniels back to back, but then they just took them.
Those were auto picks still for SC, Herbert and Lawrence.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. The thing I noticed is the thing I continue to notice, like weight on tight end in a super flex here. Go ahead. I'm okay with those two. Patrick Mahomes at the 102. That's obvious for me. But Jordan Love at the 302. I'm really comfortable with them. But then I can't take Trey McBride in the 5th round. Like I said earlier, I want to push him down to the back of the 6th. I would have had my choice between Kyle Pitts fell to me, who is my clear choice there. Or you can even go Brock Bowers if you're feeling spicy, George Kittle, and then Njoku right there. So, yeah. The other thing is Aaron sniped me with the Deshaun Watson pick. So, of course, there was no way I was taking a kicker there. It was either Watson in the last round to pair with Amari or Chase Brown as my RB4, and I ended up with Brown. So, yeah, you just got to kind of either decide if you want your QB2 or you want your tight end early.
I secretly want to play in more 10-team leagues because I got through to the end of this and I still love the options on the board. Like, I feel like there was probably still more wide receivers. There's still a handful, like Jerome Ford's still on the board. There's a bunch more running backs I want. Okay, tight end. I think tight end, 10-team is perfect for tight ends because I think there's 10 of them that are useful. Quarterback, there were still a couple more on the board. Like, I think I want to start playing in more 10-team leagues, man. It was so much less stressful.
Right. There's a lot. There's still plenty of good guys that didn't get drafted. And I will say, like, in 10-team, the upside shot is much more important. You need guys to be the high end because everyone has good teams. So, like, you getting the RB16 really doesn't do anything for you. You need a guy to be like a top 2, top 3, like, what I'm saying, the position. So take the upside shots all the time in 10-team league.
There must be an AEW pay-per-view going on, and that's why SC is not joining us today because he's tweeting out about Sting and Daniel Bryan. So fucking SC can't get him away from his wrestling for 3 seconds here.
I want to shout out a couple of teams here. The first one is Jamie's team. I'm looking at it. You start with Josh Allen and Dak Prescott. Then you get Puka and Mike Evans. So those are, locked in every week studs at wide receiver. Pacheco. We hated on him for Aaron Jones, but Aaron Jones could still be solid if he does get those 15 to 18 touchdowns and stay healthy. And then he's got Kyle Pitts. He's got a bunch of wide receiver 2s who could elevate to wide receiver 1, depending on situation, what happens. And then, like you said, he sniped Jonathan Brooks from all of us in the 11th round. So that team is awesome. And then I'm the sandwich of these great teams because then Ryan comes in, absolutely snipes me a couple of times, and he's got Hurts and Caleb as his QBs, Gibbs, Achane as his running backs with Tony Pollard, who could blow up, and then a crap ton of wide receivers receivers who could absolutely crush in half PPR with George Kittle. So,
Yeah.
those two teams on either side of me killed me in this draft.
I know. I want to shout out your team. You got sandwiched in the middle, and your team sucks. I'm joking. Your team's good. I'm just fucking. I'm joking. Your team's good. You're good. You're good.
Like,
I mean, you don't know how to draft a kicker, but
yeah, that's fine.
We'll pick
What?
up.
What is it?
I really like Hitman's wide receiver. Like, you get Jefferson, London, and Metcalf, and like that's how you roll out. And then you got Ken Walker, another good value. James Conner. Like, I like Njoku more than most people, so I think this is a really good build with Richardson.
Well, so did he, because he drafted a second tight end. So,
which I found it didn't like make a lot of sense, because it's like, how are you going to play that guy? But I think you're kind of playing keep away from the rest of your field. But the whole thing is, there's not enough good tight ends to really, like, or there's too many good tight ends in the format to keep them away. So that's the one pick where it's like, all right, outside of that. But I think it's really good. And as much as we hate on Keenan Allen, Steph Diggs, these guys are values now because you're getting them so late. So yeah, like getting him that late, or Ryan getting Diggs that late, I like both those picks.
You guys are lucky that the draft is over and I can't change picks, or I'd be manually setting kickers to all three of you guys.
See, Jamie speaks the truth. That's what I'm talking about.
You had one job.
Jamie, we don't know either. We don't know either.
If you're letting me draft Penny Sewell, I'm on board. Let's do it.
Hey, it wasn't my rule. It was a league setting that was sent to me by someone. Like, this was made for someone's league, so I don't make it up. Having said that, in this league, I probably also wouldn't have drafted a kicker, and then I would have streamed one. But I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
so.
100%.
Anything else here before we wrap it up that you guys noticed?
Greg got good value on the running backs. Barkley, Jacobs, those are two volume workhorses. Like, the thing about 10 team is everyone's team is good. Like, there's no bad team in this format, right? It's just, it's who hits the high end range of outcomes. That's what you're chasing in this format, because everybody's good.
My original home league was an 8-team league, but I love this strip here in 6-7, where it's like almost completely orange. I guess that's the tight end sweet spot, hey?
I guess so. Get in before or miss out, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning into our 10-team Superflex tight end premium mock draft. We went 12 rounds. We will be back. I'm not sure. We're done vacation, so I don't know if we're going to be going live tomorrow at noon or if we'll just be back Tuesday. But stay tuned. We are ramping up here. We are, 10 days away, a week away, something like that from week 1. Thank you for tuning in to the Fantasy Football Universe. Head over to fantasyfootballuniverse.com for all of our daily articles. We got DFS, IDP, kickers, and DST. Fuck you guys. Take care, everyone. Thanks to everyone who participated and everyone who watched the stream. Take care. Have a good night.